Hello and welcome to Channel Sports on Sunday. I'm Cecilia Omogbe in Lagos. And of course, Ken Ochonoga is in London. He'll be joining us. Okpeyemi Ajala is globetrotting in Europe. Right now, he's in Rome. He's in Rome. Yeah, that's where he is right now because it was Barcelona like 2 days ago. He's globetrotting, so he's going to join us also from Rome. And of course, right here in the studio, Theophilus Agbolawa is in Lagos.
Theophilus is in Nigeria, Lagos. It's good to be on the show, Cecilia. Thanks for having me.
All right, on the show today is packed because Anthony Joshua, after 2 years, he's finally got his first win. He has lost his 3 of his last 5 fights, but then this particular one, he returned since August when he lost his belt. He is beltless right now, so he was able to beat Jermaine Franklin by unanimous point decision. Of course, he recorded that win and he had to call out who else? Tyson Fury, because according to him, that's the fight he believes everyone wants. We'll also be talking about our fallout from the Super Eagles and under-23 game failure, of course, for the under-23, the Olympic Eagles, to qualify for another Olympic Games after failing to also make it in the last one in Tokyo. They will also not be in Paris. Talk about that. And also talk about the reconciliation committee set up by the Nigerian Football Federation. What's the current situation right now? How is the committee trying to actually have a truce, rectify the whole bodies of the Players' Union and ensure that there is peace? We'll talk about that. And of course, the Nigerian Professional Football League will get our attention, all the games that will be decided today. We'll try as much as possible to have the CEO talking about David Seowumi to join us on the program to have a review and review of how the first stanza was and also take a peek into how the second stanza is currently going on. And of course, the prize money of the 100 million naira was left for the other teams who are also taking part in MPFL. If the winner is getting 100 million naira, he'll be answering so many questions on the show today. And of course, we'll touch down on the Premier League, Man City and Liverpool, and of course talk about Arsenal, who are trying to do what Man City are doing. Man City scored 4-1, and of course, just a few minutes later, a few hours later, Arsenal were able to do the same thing. Formula One, yes, we might touch down on that, and of course, Miami Open. There's so much to talk about on the show this afternoon on Sunday. Ken is in London, as I mentioned earlier. Ken, good afternoon. It's good to have you.
Yeah. Good afternoon, Cici. Good afternoon, Catalan. And Catalan is in Nigeria. It's going to be a bumper show. You just talked about Anthony Joshua, and the guy said, "See me in the summer," which means he is ready to fight again. And he says, whoever is watching, you know how to reach to my manager. I'm ready for you, be it Tyson Fury, be it Deontay Wilder. I am back. It is good to see him back to resurrect his career. And that is he has. Of course, he didn't get that knockout. He didn't get that knockout win. But let's see if we go from that place, he will move on.
Okpeyemi is in Rome, as I mentioned earlier. He's not here in the studio. Okpeyemi, how you doing? Good afternoon.
Hello, ICC.
I'm fine.
Yeah.
Great to have you join us. From
yeah, I'm fine. You can hear the Italian in the background. Inside the airport, but all is well.
Okay.
It's right all over the place. But it's something will put you. So today, you have the league leaders, Napoli against AC Milan, and of course you have Roma against Sampdoria. So those are the big games in Italy today.
All right.
And it is Roma that you are more interested in.
Yeah, because they need to get to the Champions League slot.
All right, let's start off with the big one. Anthony Joshua winning again after a very long time. I mean, it's been over 2 years the last time he won, but by unanimous decision, he was able to defeat American Jermaine Franklin at O2 Arena just on Saturday night. Let's just take a look at that punch start. You know, the way it is, because when you have that kind of dominance, of course, you know, you understand how fantastic that game was. Just in case you miss it, if you can have the punch stats, what it states the where you have his punches, he landed about 117 compared to Franklin having 58. The total that was thrown happens to be 376, and for Franklin it was 426, and the percentage was 31%, 14% for Franklin, and jabs landed 57 for Anthony Joshua and 21 for Franklin. You have jabs thrown 220 495 for Anthony Joshua and 441 for Franklin. The percentage, of course, 25% and 9% for Franklin. The power landed happens to be 60 for Anthony Joshua and 37 for Franklin. And, of course, power thrown, 151 for Anthony Joshua, 185 for Franklin. And the percent, of course, 40% for Anthony Joshua and 20% for Franklin. Now, Okwemi, let me come to you on this one. Now, Anthony Joshua seems to be back because of the way he dominated this fight, although he won by unanimous decision. If you take a look at some of the stats, especially with the total of punches, he landed 117.
Yeah, it's quite amazing because he went to that fight in his heaviest state ever. So nobody expected him to land such volume when it comes to the frequency in his punches. But again, you've been an Olympic champion, a world champion, and losing back-to-back. And he said something that losing this fight will have meant the end of the dream for him. So I think the dream goes on. He has given himself one more life. And But I was surprised at his performance because I watched the bout and because it was too heavy, and of course maybe he fought a weaker opponent. But give it to him, a win is a win, and the champion is back.
The champion is really back. Anthony Joshua, 25 wins, 3 losses, 22 knockouts. After not winning over 2 years, bouncing back, you would say maybe he's really ready to go.
Let me say this. Joshua said, "I'm training for 12 rounds, but I'm prepared to go as many rounds as possible." Boxing has evolved.
Yeah.
When boxing started, there was no before it got to 12 rounds, numbers of 12 rounds, it used to be 15 rounds. But before then, there is nothing like anything. I think it was in 1893 or so, where the longest fight in boxing history. You can't believe this. You can't believe this, guys. That fight lasted for 110 rounds. 110 rounds. 7 hours, 19 minutes. So they will fight until they knock you out. It is not that they are counting points. But you guys enter there, wear your clothes and go and knock yourself out. That is boxing. So for this, after people question his stamina, question his whatever it is, I say, look, this fight you are meeting at the best. But psychologically, when you lose so much, losing back to Usyk, losing to the one they call the fat man and stuff like that, and so. Those things haven't done his career any good. So he need to regain his confidence. And I think that is what he did with this fight. I think his best fight was at his rematch after he lost his first when he fought in Saudi Arabia. Yeah. When he danced, he danced like a butterfly and flow, and sting like a bee. Muhammad Ali, he used his reach, dance around and stay away. I think I don't know who his trainers are, but in this fight, we saw him coming to say, look, you don't have to go for the knockout. You are disappointed he didn't get a knockout, but he could have done that. The important thing is the win. He is a KO artist, but now it is intelligence. Go over there to get what is done, and that is what matters. And this one will do him so much good. He said, I'm back for the big one. Of course, the big one is, they are just there. There are about 4 of them now because Usyk have joined. It used to be Wilder and then Tyson Fury. All of that ones are just cannon fooders, which they are all using. To beautify their record. But this is great to see AJ back. Good to see him being who he is. And for we or more Nigeria, no matter where we are, even here in London, it was all jubilation.
Obviously, everyone is happy for him. When he switched over to a Texas-based trainer, talking about Derrick James, who is ranked as the best trainer in the world right now. When he switched over, did you anticipate this victory, or you think maybe the changes he made actually helped him
before he switched over to James, he left his previous manager, and obviously you could tell that what he wanted was not what he was getting. Now switching over, one thing is certain: we all know that he needed to bounce back with a win. And he said that if he had lost this, probably it was going to be game over for him. And Ken has said this multiple times. Everybody has a plan until you get punched in the face. And it's the heavyweight decision. You are literally 1 punch away from going down. And the matter, I think he got his nose bloodied in the 2nd round. But after that, he just picked up and it was just hitting punches all the way. And the thing about boxing is simple. the person that lands the most punches that are most likely going to win the fight. And at that point, the opponent knew that he needed to at least put Joshua down to win that one. But it's a good one for him. Kamaru Usman lost his own rematch for his own title, and it looked like Nigeria seemed to have been losing. Let's not forget, Israel has lost his belt as well, and then Joshua coming into this one. But I never really doubted him. At least looking at the opponent he came up against, he called out Tyson Fury. I hope he can make it happen, and let's see if he can get a shot at getting it back. But one thing that Fury says is this: you don't pay me for knockout. If I get it, fine. The most important thing is that I win the bout, and that was what Joshua did yesterday.
117 to 58. Exactly. I mean, that's a total dominance right there for Anthony Joshua. Okay, let's quickly touch down on the Super Eagles. Yes, they were able to bounce back from one 1-0 victory and win the other one. But NFF Secretary General has been talking about the Super Eagles of Nigeria, the failure of losing against Guinea-Bissau before they finally, bounce back and winning by a lone goal, and also the under-23 failure to qualify for the Olympics yet again.
On our own part and on the part of the government, nobody was happy that we lost that much. But I can also say that being professional players, they were very sad, and when they got to Guinea-Bissau, you saw that they stepped up the game and we won. So it is not how you fall, but how you are able to stand up and continue your journey. We have played 4 matches now. We have 9 points and we are leading the group. And by the grace of God, we are going to just not qualify, but to be the winners of that group. As a Nigerian, of course, and also as a football administrator, I can tell you that I was very, very sad and unhappy that we will not be at the Olympics. The team that has done very well, the team that has won the trophy, the team that has come second will not be in the Olympics. It's sad. But, I have been saying I can't do my job and do that of other people for them. So I will not be in the position to answer this question. I would rather say you can talk to the technical director, whose job is actually to handle technical matters. But suggestions are welcome. We cannot do it alone, and we have never claimed to have the knowledge to do it alone. We have always been saying, united we stand, divided we fall. And the more we come together to offer advices and work towards achieving goals, the better for us.
Yeah, it's all about achieving goals for NFF. We'll see what they can do about the under-23 team to ensure that the next Olympics will be able to make it to that one. Theo, just a quick one. What's your take on this when both teams not really doing well? Yes, Super Eagles managed to get back their 3 points, but 1-0 wasn't satisfactory for most Nigerians.
It wasn't about the result. The performance itself, even though we won that game, I thought it was abysmal. Maybe because the club I support, we like playing good football, But when I watched the Super Eagles play, I think there was a time during that game, the streaming cut off, and in fact, I think it was my eyes were sore at a point. But yes, we won that match. We needed to win the match, but I'm not fully recovered from it. And then looking at what the Olympic Eagles went on to do away from, I thought it was in Morocco they played that game. Now, for the second time in a row, we'll not be going to the Olympics. After we claimed bronze the last time we were there, I think it's sad. I think we expected more, looking at the fact that the caliber of players that we took compared to our own opponents that we faced, we expected more from them. But I hope maybe things will just get better for us.
Hoping things will get better. Ken, I'll come with... No, let me come to you first. Were you satisfied with Super Eagles' performance, that 1-0 victory? We just take it and leave it.
Sisi, from a biased point of view, there is no way I could have been satisfied. I've made personal and financial commitment into next Olympic Games. I was in France last week. I saw some of the facilities, and I think it does not go well for our football. And I think we have to break this siege of going for one Olympics, missing the other one. Before it was the Falcons that were not going, but now the dream team, they are no longer the super dream team, just the dreaming team now. I think so. Maybe from the dream team to the dreaming team. Salisu did not cover himself in glory, and I think for the first time in a long time, people are pointing accusing fingers at the coaching department of our HB team. We've never did this bad. but I hope we will not sink lower. But again, for Nigerians who are paid to watch football, I think there will still be a refund for the Olympic Games. So it's now we should decide what we want to do, whether to go and watch other teams or to get a refund. But I think it will be a very big, because I saw some of the facilities last week.
A big miss. People dreaming to go watch a football at the Olympics, especially Nigerians. Ken, you listen to NFF Secretary General talking about the fact that the technical committee also needs to look into it. What do you think they can do differently to have a standard on the age teams that you can readily pick on, and we go to any tournament we want to participate and also conquer other countries and become maybe more return to winning ways, so to speak?
This is Nigeria. What happens in Nigeria and how we achieve certain things is a study that can scientifically nobody can get that defined and say, look, you want to study the success of Nigeria. Take example the youth teams. Nigeria has been so successful at the under 17, at the under 20 we have not won it, but we progressed so well. And under 23, we've won the Olympic gold, we've got silver, we've got bronze. So in FIFA age grades, from 17 to 23, you won't say Nigeria has not done well. But then look at it holistically. Of course, we must look at the box stop at the desk of the coach or the FA, the technical committee, and other go and look for players. How do you get those players? Are the players in school? Are the players in academies? Are the players in the youth team of our clubs? Our clubs have not even still, you can't look at a Nigerian club side, and say, look, this club can stand independently without being supported by the state funds. So by the time you are looking for money to pay the salaries, that the clubs cannot, they are professional clubs, but they've not been earning enough. You understand? As an adult, you are not dependent. Our professional clubs are dependent. They are dependent on the taxpayers' money. So if you cannot run the first team, the senior team on itself that can earn, how do you get money to have a youth team? It is the youth teams of the clubs in Europe and other places. It's rather you source the players at that youth level. From the age 10, 12, you will see where managers will go. I'll talk about Alex Ferguson. Alex Ferguson will go to Ryan Giggs' family on his 11th birthday and say, we want this boy to play for Manchester United. From when he was 11 years old, they started monitoring him. To Walcott will go with Southampton, Chelsea, Arsenal will go and bring him there. So you go to the youth team of Arsenal, the youth team of Chelsea, the youth team of Liverpool, Manchester United, and that is where you follow them, 8th grade, 10, 12, 13. So you know where they are. But somebody will just come from nowhere and said, I am this, this is my age, and this is my dad. And so you don't have the pedigree, you have not monitored him, they've not played together. Most of the youth teams you see over here, they go around, they've been playing they know themselves. As if you see the pictures of Sancho and Jude Bellingham, and when they were kids, you will see them growing up together. So it is a holistic thing, not just technical department, go and source for players or coach, go and carry them there. No, until we sit down to define the future of football, to lay that solid foundation that we're always talking about, then it will be very, very difficult for us to look. I'll say, okay, this is the success, and success must come because there has to be a laid plan. There has to be what you have written down to say short term, long term, in the next 20 years, where should we be? It is not just tomorrow. Okay, we've not gone to the under 23. When it is time for Olympics 2024, like where was in France, you ask, let us pick players who wants to go to. You bring a coach, fire brigade, join them together like a carpenter who wants to knock nails and say you want to get furniture. No, it is not done that way. We must sit down, have a discussion, and let them know. Say this is the roadmap to where we want to be in football, not just in success in youth in teams, but in having a football, in having a sport industry. That is what it is. That people can be in sport and earn a living. That is where we are where we are going. So for this, losing or the coach himself, let me leave that matter first.
All right. I mean, most of the things you said, I think Muti Adepoju agree with this. Let's just take a listen to him. After that, we'll take a short break.
We've been having, some problems, not now. And it's not as if we don't have good players. We have stars playing in their various clubs in Europe. But the problem is, I think we need to look inward and see the way things and see how we can find solution to it, because definitely we have the players. Very sad. It's very sad, and nobody is happy about that. But I think the more reason why we should take care of our league. And what is happening here today is one of the things that is going to put enough competition. We have to take care of our league and the clubs too. I will always say this. We have to be up and doing, and try and be more professional than what we are, because under 23 practically they are from the league, and if we have league running and our players, it's not as if they are not good, and we are not able to beat teams that we used to beat before. So I think we just need to do something, and I believe this kind of game changer and a new development.
Yeah, welcome back. We are now 3 in Lagos studio because Jimmy Kato is right here in the studio. Jimmy, good to have you.
Yeah, ever a pleasure to be here. I listened to Ken talk about the Anthony Joshua fight, and I think he's being too patriotic. I feel that Anthony Joshua once again has shown he's probably too robotic, and the truth is he's not going to go into a fight with Tyson Fury this way or even Deontay Wilder. That's the truth. Because he's not really shown progression. He's not shown he's worked much on his body movement.
Right. Okay.
I feel that he was low in confidence, but he was job done. And at this point in time, you have to consider maybe a fight, maybe a Joyce, a Dubois, or maybe even Fury. But, he's got to
You think he's not ready for that big fight?
I don't think he's ready because, against Fury.
Okay, let's leave it at that. But I was looking at numbers of punches that he was able to land. I was quite impressed with him not going for the knockout. Just see how you can, get your point and win it. That's what is important. All right. Let's talk about the NFF reconciliatory committee that was set up, headed by the Deputy Governor of Edo State, Philip Shaibu. Now, they met on Thursday and they came up with a whole lot of resolution. And the key thing is the fact that he was able to speak into the minds of the players on how they can come together and make the players' union viable, just like you have the international body, which is FIPRO, to be relevant to themselves and also to footballers in the country. Let's take a listen to him. Of course, we dissect this.
There are some of us that our names were all in the media. We played very well. Some of us were lucky even when we played very well. Only few people recognize our name. Now we are retired. How come nobody remember that we are not doing well or we are doing well? How come we are sick? We have to know that one of us is sick only through the media. These are all our responsibility as players' union leadership. We must have a union that has both the retired and the active people data. We must have a union that will take up responsibility of filing cases and paying the bills of players that have been either molested or the contract, they have been cheated from one contract or the other. We should slave contract, we should be able to deal with it. If we are not dealing with this, we are failing. So the starting point is the unity of all of us. Let's bury whatever differences we have for the sake of some of us that are retired are no longer strong and they need help, and for the future of our young, upcoming players. You can see when we don't have a strong management, players' union can fill the gap. And also, players' union, how come we are not active in the politics of NFF? Because we are divided. How come the last election we didn't have voting right? Because we are divided. Who say one of us today cannot be the next NFF president if we are united? We are actually the gold of rebuilding and the heart and the hope of football in Nigeria. But because I don't know whether it's the devil just planted a seed of division to make sure we don't see, we don't agree. And that makes us now to be second fiddle where we are supposed to be number one. We are supposed to be the heart. We are supposed to be everything about football. So gentlemen and ladies, please and please, I am begging us for the sake of some of us that are no longer, that are weak, as not as strong as we are needing help, for the sake of these young girls and boys, please and please, let us be united. Let us come together for their sake and actually give them the leadership that they deserve. Beyond the leadership we are getting, look, you can imagine what we are losing from the international body. Just imagine the amount of money we are losing. When you calculate it, it's into millions of dollars beyond what we are also can generate within ourselves. God has blessed some of us beyond what we expect as funding. Some of us also can contribute financially and time to whatever project we want to do that will better the lot of both the retired and the active.
Yeah, a whole lot. I think I'll come with you first before we go to Ken. First of all, why you stop smiling and stop?
No, the words were moving.
Jimmy,
Jimmy,
you were saying something when he was talking. That's why I'm coming to you first.
I think it's what we're touching, and the question would be, what exactly will change? Exactly. I actually do believe that this administration, the current NFF administration, they've really shown that they are, determined to see how they can correct some of the mistakes of the past. Maybe they have not done so much in terms of setting up when it comes to matches, but in terms of interpersonal relationships, I think they have done a lot more better than the last administration. I mean, the jury is out on them on that. But when you consider what the deputy governor did say, I think it's very instructive, because FIFPro actually, there are a lot of money is being lost by not being united, and it's instructive that they get it right for the generations, the ones that are currently playing, maybe not even for themselves. But you also consider the fact that a lot of them, they are not even generating enough in terms of sponsorship and endorsements right now. I can tell you for free. We have a few of them, but in terms of what they are capable of doing, because they are not united, that divisiveness within the ranks actually makes sure that a lot of corporate brands, they want to be careful when they invest in any particular, ex-international or sports person that, done well for the country. So it behoves on them to do the right thing at this point in time. And I think also, as much as possible, there should be fairness, there should be neutrality from, regulatory bodies or arbiters. And as such, you will find, unity, and maybe, just maybe, we'll find, some resolution to all of this quagmire.
Peace, that's what we want, right?
Exactly, peace.
Theophilus.
Exactly. We want peace. We want the House to be united. And like you said, who says one of them could not become the next NFL president? But beyond that, we want a situation whereby the House is united, they come together, and then we can move forward and achieve greater things.
That's what is important. Okpeyemi, I'll come to you first before Ken will wrap this up for us, because he understands the dynamics concerning the former players. But Okpeyemi, I'll come to you first on this one.
Did you ever play ball?
Okpeyemi, over to you. Leave these guys in the studio.
I think the highlight for me there is having a former player, because he no longer plays, at least for this season, a former active player coming to mediate peace. I think the seed of discord sown by the last administration, we cannot wish that away. So I think it's good that we have an impartial arbiter who is also one of them, not an administrator per se, but also a footballer. It was at the last National Sport Festival, a good winning member of the Edo State team. he was part of the vendor insurance team that got promoted. So I think the players will feel more at home with him, because it's one thing for justice to be done and justice to be seen to be done. So I think that is where he will have the edge, because they will trust him and believe he'll be an impartial arbiter, because he's actually one of them, and not seen as one of the administrators that actually causes problem for the players' union. So I think it's a good one for the peace process.
Peace process, that's what we want. Ken, over to you. I mean, wrap this up for us concerning the Players' Union. You followed it from the very beginning. What do I do to these guys in the studio, Ken?
See, that is leave the family. That is the team. That is why they are there. You said this. Not just Ken Ochonogo, but Channel Sport on Sunday has been so involved in trying this reconciliation move of the Players' Union. We are talking about over 7-10 years ago. We are talking about bringing the lives of Clement Emile, Shegun Oguns, Austin Popo, Arison Jala, trying to bring them together to have, a house. Ogba did mention that the deputy governor is an ex-player and be one of them. Yes, there was a man before the deputy governor. That man is Ajide, the former chairman of Surulere local government area. He spent his time, money. He will bring in the likes of Dahiru Sadi, Arison Jala from the east, from the north, bring them to Lagos, camp them in the hotel. Negotiating with them, begging them to come as one. The day that Tijani Babangida was inaugurated as the president of this union in Surulere, I was there physically. Arison Jala and Austin Popo agreed to collapse, to be part of the BOT, so that the war in the house can have one house. But the truth is that there is a saying in Yoruba land, and they say "Kokoro tonje for inwe for lower." You understand? You don't
Translate.
Somebody from you don't bring in somebody from outside to come and destroy your inside. You see, unfortunately, some members of the Players' Union have allowed themselves to be used by not just the past administration, but the ones before them, to divide the house. That is the truth. Let me say this. He said about one of them becoming the president of the yes, in Spain. Do you know that the FA chairman of Spain, Ruiz Rubiales, was the former president of the Players' Union?
Yes.
From 2010 to 2017, after he retired as a footballer, he became the Players' Union president. From Players' Union president, he is now the FA president. So is it the same in Italy? The former president, Players' Union president controls a large bulk of the lower divisions. When they vote, he's embarked. He fought to become among when they came to the last three to pick who would be the head. So you don't use them as cannon fodder. And I'm sorry about this, especially most of us, the Nigerian sport journalists, the way they write the players, they say, well, every 4 years they come and torment trouble. It is their job. The Nigerian Medical Association is run by doctors. The Korean, the Nigerian, when you say it is run by engineers, it is their tough. You don't just come in and say we are administrating, it is our own. Most of them are learned. Are they more educated than Fuludu? Are they more educated than these guys? When you look down on them, look at the former league president himself. He is now a lawyer. He went back to school after playing football and said, this is who I am. So until they come together as one, and I hope that the deputy governor with his clout, with whatever he has, with the resources, with his knowledge, can continue from where Tajidun Ajide stopped. Tajidun Ajide, I tell you this, that man tried. That man did a lot. But no matter what you want to do, for them to find peace and speak as one and stop begging when any one of them is ill. And we say this is a fan footballer, if they are not looking after him, he is this. A percentage of whatever fund that come to the FA is supposed to go to the Players' Union. The dues from how much they are paying the current players is supposed to go to the Players' Union. They are supposed to have a pool of funds to take care of themselves. They are a rich organization. The money that FIFA is giving to Nigeria, the Players' Union should have their own. So people say they want to chop money. The Nigerian balance. We want to look at the easy way out. We don't want to look at building foundations, building institutions, building a structure that would withstand whatever pressure that we are going to have. That is the story. I hope this will end in good news. I hope when they reconcile this time, it will be for the good. It will be forever. It will be that, yes, they have one voice representing the past, the present, and the future football players of Nigeria. I think that should be the goal.
Yeah, drop the mic there. Yeah. All right, way to end that.
Not off the mic. Drop the mic.
Yeah, just drop it. All right, let's take a look at MPFL. Of course, David Onwumi, the head of operations of Interim Management Committee, is supposed to join us on the show today. But then we have an interview. There was an interview we had with him during the course of the week where he mentioned that this stanza, the first stanza of the MPFL was successful. And of course, the IMC, for coming from him, about 40 or 50%, that's what he's giving them, and hopes that the payment of players and everything will, as we ratify, and of course, clubs that are not able to do that, they will be sanctioned. Let's take a listen to him, and if he can join us, he will definitely have to explain those sanctions that clubs will be given when they fail to pay players.
It's a very modest beginning, okay, but at least some of the basic necessities have been stabilized, okay? Payments of referees' indemnity stabilized, the league on television stabilized, welfare of players stabilized, okay? Then what other thing again? Maybe the officiating level is almost, stabilized. So within the few months the IMC has taken, with the cooperation of the Nigerian Football Federation, the Ministry of Sports, I think you can give them 40-50% so far, okay, for jobs they have been able to achieve within this time. And looking at the Super 6, it's a springboard, okay? Because immediately we finish the Super 6, once we finish the Super 6, then the first 3 teams there are going to the continent, okay? We think that with what they have gone through, the rigorous games they have gone through in the league proper, and the fact that the Super 6 is going to be an open thing, the winner takes all, okay? And no room for any backroom stuff. I think we're going to present some very capable teams that will represent this country. I'm not sure any player will tell you that for now will complain of being owed, because the club licensing is taking care of it. We also have an antidote to clubs owing their players, on payables, overdue payables. We have it there. We have how to deal with it. And I'm sure that no club will want to get into that fray of owing their players right now.
That's one of the news you just want to listen to. Players shouldn't be owed salaries 6 months, 5 months. It's always very funny when you hear that. Theo, let's start off with you on this one. Successful MPFL so far, your own rating.
If I were to give a score out of 10, I'll probably give it an 8. Looking at the games, 8 over 10, I'll say.
Wow, that's rich.
No, I won't give that 8 over 10 because I saw a couple of the games online. The quality of the football, for me, I feel has improved. The officiating has been top notch. Yes, 1 or 2 errors there. Of course, we see that even in the Premier League and the La Liga. But you see an improvement. And then sanctions have been doled out to those that have been found wanting. Very, very, very important, And from the way it's looking, yes, we went on the break, looking at it might actually end the normal regular season like we see in Europe. And then a very, very valid point that he made, the fact that after they're done with the Super 6, the team that will go on to represent us at the continent. And then when you don't get a certain degree of competition, when you go out and play against the guys out there, you would always falter. Now, you are playing better football, you are better prepared. Obviously, when you get over there, you give a better account of yourselves. And then most importantly, player salaries. Very, very important. You don't expect guys that come out here, train, do all the work, and then struggling to feed their families. Remember when we had the captain of Rivers United on the show not too long ago?
Very exciting.
And after the monies was paid to them, and he talked about the fact that some players had not seen that kind of money in their life before, And then seeing it, you can imagine the level of excitement, that kind of incentive, spur the players on to go on to do more. So I'm really, really impressed. I'll give it a solid 8 over 10.
8 over 10?
I won't do 8.
Okay.
I think I'll do a fair 6.
Is it not you?
I'll do a fair 6 because I actually feel they have done quite well. Maybe not perfect enough to give them more than 6 because you know where they're coming from.
Yes.
If you had rated the league, maybe you say a 3 before now. But what they have done right now, shows you that they can do a lot more.
Yeah.
The potential seems to be there.
It's
You know, the
actually.
buzz around the league is there, coming, especially with the new
IMC.
partners. Yeah.
Okay.
And
Oh,
also the
GTA and
IMC. You know, when it comes to officiating and you are able to quickly nip, certain incidents in the board, then there won't be any ripple effect from such incidents. And I think they have really, really been decisive. You know, the making decisions, this has gone wrong. And also Mrs. Faith Rabo, the head of the referees, she's really done well in terms of, she's been very impartial, very disciplined about, dishing the necessary suspensions. And that's what we want. We know there will always be issues. But it actually doesn't matter what you are able to do, how you are able to do it, and the decisiveness of the timing, which is what we have seen. And we have to give them all the credit at this point in time. But I believe, like Theo has said, 8 is, it's not...
So with all this you have said, you still give them 6?
Yeah, because there's still a long way to go.
There's still
a long way to go, really.
Don't give out marks to students.
There's still a long way to go.
If you're a lecturer, no one is going to get 90.
Cecilia, we need to ask ourselves, what about the salary arrears? We know right now they are taking care of it in terms of indemnities, in terms of...
Those are questions that's why we wanted Dave to be on the show. There are questions we need to ask him.
I think when it does come on...
But from feelers I got is the fact that clubs were able to clear their standards. That's why the club licensing came to bear. That those that couldn't meet up would not be registered for
club
the season.
Licensing was not
I'm just
perfect.
telling you, feelers...
Club licensing was done basically, let's make sure we get it started, show intent. It's not as if they did everything, all the clubs got everything right before they got started for this season.
Okay, Okay, how will you rate the MPFL so far this season? 8 or 9?
Yeah.
Of 3?
Yeah. No, it won't be that bad. I think we should not lose focus on one thing. Consistency in matches. Matches have been played, not unnecessarily cancelled. You go for World Cup, you suspend the league. Our league was more known for suspending matches than actually playing matches. So for that alone, you start off the IMC on a 5/10. So, but I want to align with Jimmy. I think because of the level of bad officiating we started with, I think I'll be very comfortable and I'll be willing to defend a 6/10 for the IMC. Matches have been so consistent, and I think because it's like by the time you start suspending matches, it's like you are taking the fish out of the water. You snuff oxygen out of the beautiful game. So it becomes the ugly game. So for that consistency, I think the IMC deserves a 5 starting mark. So that gives you 5/10. So, but for the officiating, which is now a little bit stable, we can say 1/5. That makes it 10. The match is not on TV, and I always talk about the TV conference in Monaco in about 10 years ago. If the matches are not on TV, they are as good as not being played. But I give it to the IMC 6/10.
But games are on NTA. I watched Enyimba and Ben Insurance last week on NTA. Yeah, maybe you want the cable where you can watch it all over. But Ken, your own rating.
The guys have done justice to this. We're talking about not yet been on the league, not yet been on television, just like you said, like it's been on cable that you can watch. But even here in the UK, you can't watch all the matches. It depends on which your subscriber you are with. So in Nigeria, of course, you just pay one package and you can watch all the matches of the EPL. But here you can't watch all the EPL matches, even here in England. So basically, that is the thing. But then, officiating, I said, the thing is that in tackling officiating, we should not, we shouldn't rate them based on the bad officiating, but we should judge them based on the reaction, which you rightly pointed out. They nipped it in the bud. They didn't dilly-dally. There was no favoritism for anybody. The moment you are caught, the moment they say, look, man, you go, you don't want bad eggs, because there's one bad egg, one bad apple. You know what it does to the rest. No matter how sweet the apple is, when one gets stained, then the thing goes around. It's like an oil that will soil the other apples. So basically, I think I will go between Jimmy and Ope and Atio and say I'm giving them 7. I'm giving them 7/10. Player salary is very, very key. And they've mentioned, I wish Owume was here. I wanted them to give us details, the details of what, they're based on FIFA license that he mentioned, that when the player's contract is signed, when you are registering a player, the club must, as you are applying for registration of that player, you apply with this contract.
Yes.
So there is no ambiguity of we are paying you 10 naira or we are paying you 20 naira. No. So basically, I think I will give them 7 over 10. It is still a work in progress. There is a lot to be done, and they are also they are laying the foundation. Like I'm saying, I'm critical about laying solid foundation, because they will hand over to a board of the league. The league will have a board. They will elect their own leaders who will run the league. That is why this is interim. This is not a permanent management committee. It's an interim management committee. But they've done well so far. There's room for improvement. Every day is a work in progress for each and every one of us. Even if you live to be 100, you will still improve. You will learn new things every day of your life.
Yeah. Okay. Jimmy wants to chip in something. Jimmy, I'll give you 30 seconds. Yeah. One, counting.
All right. So, Cecilia, I agree with Ken totally. I agree with him totally. That's 7. I will say there is the majority 6. So I think we have won.
Why did I waste my 30 seconds on you? Okay, let's just quickly take a look at the games for today. We have so many matches today to be played, about 9 in all. Yesterday, Nasarawa United and Economy Warriors, that game ended 2-1. Economy Warriors defeated Nasarawa United 2-1. I mean, that means the season has been woeful. Yes. 2 wins so far this season. For games for today, you have Enugu Rangers and Lobby Stars being in action. Doma United and Niger Tornadoes will also be in action. You have Wiki Tourists and Dakada FC, Kwara United and Shooting Stars, Plateau United and Bender Insurance, Aqua United and Eimba, Remo Stars and Gombe United, Bayelsa United and Abia Warriors. These are the games for today. All right, we mentioned the MPFL, and of course, the key game for today should be Bender Insurance are yet to lose 11 matches unbeaten, but they've had the last 2 games have been draw against Eimba and, of course, against Aqua United. Theophilus, I'll come to you first. For Bender Insurance, yes, they're having a fantastic season. Yeah, you guys can, call us now. The phone lines are open. Opportunity for you to call us on the discussion, so you can chip in.
So,
11 games unbeaten. Yeah, because they were winning until the 2 draws that they had. So that's why it's always kind of tricky.
You look at the way they've been playing, and you only can say that I've been impressed. Yeah. And I know you're actually impressed as well watching their games. We just before we came on air talked about the fact that after you saw their game on Sunday, and then you now watch the Super Eagles game on Monday, why would they pepper your eye? Well, you understand. But then again, that's the kind of improvement we're talking about that we've seen in the MPFL. So far, we want to actually see the games now. Yes, I understand when Okwe was talking about the fact that yes, he wishes that more of their games are on TV. I know a lot of people who want to see this game. Fine goals being scored, players coming together, and then obviously coming out and impressing us. And the fans obviously wanted to see their games as well. Bender Insurance is very, very impressive, and I think they should be able to continue on beating run today when they take complete to United.
I think Kwara United and Shooting Stars, that will be one cracker. And I also think it's going to be on TV. They'll be playing at Akure. And I think it's one game that, you need to watch out for. Maybe the 2 of them are not really doing fantastically well, but because of that rivalry between them, I always talk about the rivalry between Sunshine Stars and Shooting Stars and also Kwara, because right now you are now going to the home of Sunshine Stars, but it's away from home from them, really. But I feel Shooting Stars should be able to pick a draw from there.
All right. I mean, the games for today, which one are you picking? Just a quick one on this one.
Yeah, I think it's sad. For a long time, we've had Bender Insurance doing the Leventis United thing, the Leventis United unbeaten run. But I think with the bad patch they've suffered in their last 2 matches, I think that unbeaten run is going to end today. It's unfortunate, but I think that's just the reality.
Okay. Ken, do you agree? Will it end today in Jaws?
I don't think the two people in the studio with you will agree, because one is Edo, the other one is Asana. And Insurance is Edo Asana. So just ask their opinion.
Yes. It is well.
We want the unbeaten run to continue. They should just go through the abridged version without losing a game and get into the Super 6 and win the trophy.
Win the league,
yeah, so people will understand what it means to invest in.
Right?
To invest, exactly. So that people will understand what it means to invest in the football and then reap the benefits of your investment. When that happens, other clubs will definitely want to follow suit. I saw pictures of them when they arrived in Jos. I mean, they had to fly, into Jos. That's what we want on MPFL clubs. With the buzz Better Insurance is actually creating, and I think that you can watch their game live on YouTube. I mean, when they stream all their games live, which is another fantastic one for a club like that. So they're doing something that most clubs want to emulate and do. That's why if they win the league title, it will be a perfect way to wrap up the league.
Of the right things that they are doing at this point in time. They are playing quality football. They are having this corporate involvement.
Yeah.
And they are also having, governmental backing at this point in time. So
let's get Michael reacting. Michael, good afternoon. It's good to have you join us.
Oh, well, I mean, I just want to make the contribution. Good morning. Oh, sorry. Is that afternoon in Nigeria?
Yes.
My name is Mike. I'm calling from Maryland. About vendor insurance, I just want to compare the Nigerian National League with that of the, British. Vendor insurance are now the Arsenal in the Premier League. So they are going on beating. And one thing I want Nigeria to realize, Nigeria generally to realize, especially Nigerian football, is that you cannot rate where you do not go. If we are not ready to invest in our stock and our football, then we are. I see that they are putting the infrastructure in place, things are going, people are thriving, the players are. So we need investors. Football is big business. And until we realize that, I don't see us going anywhere. That's my contribution.
Thank you very much, Michael. I hope other clubs will take a cue from what insurance are doing and invest in football. All right, we'll leave the league and quickly go to the Premier League. We'll leave Nigerian League and talk about the Premier League games at the side. Just two major games. I mean, it was supposed to be a title decider, but it just wasn't to be because Manchester City somehow they had to press the button of Liverpool. Mo Salah looked for the trouble first, scoring first, and Man City woke up and they scored 4 after conceding 1. And of course, for Jurgen Klopp, losing again. That game, usually, why are you laughing? Since that 7-0, they've not been able to win. Losing to Southampton, right?
It's
Real Madrid. Now
they are the Robin Hood of
Manchester City's first loss of the season came at the hands of Liverpool. And same with Musala. There were talks about the fact that early kickoffs have never favored Liverpool this season. And talking about the fact that Manchester City 22 games at home.
Average,
I think 120 and drawn just 2. Basically invincible at home. But at the same time, Erling Haaland wasn't going to be playing. And then the game starts, and Liverpool get the first goal. So, maybe we're going to see something. Yes, an equalizer at halftime. And then the next thing, after the resumption, bam, bam, bam.
It is what in Yoruba is called That's exactly what Mo Salah did. I mean, scoring that first goal.
Whenever you're speaking, can you translate first for those who don't understand Yoruba?
You buy one, get 4. Simple. There's no further translation. But I think it's instructive. I think
it's the day of the Michaels. Another Michael is calling us, but this one not Maryland, but from Warri in Delta State. Michael, good afternoon.
There's also Warri in United States.
Michael, I think Michael is on. Sorry about that. We couldn't pick your call on time. All right, Ken, let's go to you. I mean, we're talking, when we're planning for this program for today, we talked about the fact that, yes, this is going to be major discussion. Why? Because it's title decider. But somehow, the first half, it was evenly poised. But second half is like what happened to United at Anfield also happened to Liverpool at Etihad. But the difference is the goals were less.
So in Nigeria, some people, in a general part of Nigeria, they said, no, not take your hands, slash spirit. So you understand? Because you don't know what you will receive. But in the marketing world in Nigeria, it is called buy one, take 4 free. I think that was what happened. It is good because we saw that if City had lost, drop point yesterday, I think it would have been a one-way ticket. Right now, we have the two teams now, are fighting for the league with Arsenal response also. So a lot is going to happen in the next few days. Arsenal will still go to visit that in Liverpool. If Liverpool fall to them, then I think that they should have that advantage. But if they lose at Liverpool and City beat them, then that 5-point difference, which is the cushion. For now, they're leading with 8 points, but they have a goal in hand, and then they have a game in hand. I mean, City. So basically, if they win that, it becomes a 5-pointer. So if two consecutive losses by Arsenal or dropping points will now come to go there. But
I remember Arsenal
the beauty about it is that even the goal difference is just one. Probably, I think Michael is calling back.
Calling again, Michael. Yeah. All right, Michael.
Yes, please. I'm very happy that Bender Insurance is back. I am very, very happy that the Arsenal of Benin is back because the people of Benin have been getting for Bender Insurance for a very long time. You understand?
Yes.
So, if Bender Insurance is back, we are happy because if you look at Bender Insurance in those days, you see that there is no team in Nigeria that can stand Bender Insurance. The only team that can stand them are Enugu Rangers of Enugu, 11-6 United of Lagos, and the NNC, Nigerian Bank. And we all know that Bender Insurance have formed the fulcrum of Nigeria National Under 17, Nigeria National Under 20, Nigeria National Under 23. If you look recently, our 23 is out of the Olympics. Now, if they are doing this selection, at least Bender Insurance should have a bulk of players in our national team. Like under 50, under 17, under 23. Because you can see 4-5 Bender Insurance players. Now, this our rated under 20, under 23. Where are the Benin? Where are the Arsenal boys? Where are the boys from the? So please, I'm happy they are back, and I want to use the opportunity to ask the Football Federation to please, when they are doing their selection for our junior national team, they should please look at Bender Insurance and get some 1 or 2, 3 players from there. They should forget about sentiment. Go to Benin, look at Bender Insurance now. They have played so many matches that they just come back and they are topping the league.
All right.
So that's very good of them. So please, tell the NFL to always look at insurance when they are doing their selection. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Michael, for your contribution. Ken, we're on this one on the Man City game, so we'll continue from there.
Yeah, what more are we going to add? City got that hold on. They are on a 7-match winning streak, just like Arsenal also. So I mean, this is what we want to see, the excitement. Where will it go? It is still any team. When I mean any team, I'm not mentioning Chelsea. I'm not mentioning Liverpool. I'm saying between. Oba is smiling because today there will be Newcastle taking on Manchester United, and for that, myself and Oba, we don't see eye to eye. We don't see eye to eye. We are on a different divide on it.
Okay, the title race quickly. Okay, the title race and how it pans out, because immediately after that, Arsenal to the field, and of course they won Leeds United 4-1, just the same result that Man City got against Liverpool.
Yeah, I was telling Ken that he was part of those guys who wrote yesterday's date as Liverpool, Manchester City, and 2023. But I think we should not also lose sight that this match in the last 3 or 4 seasons decided the league by millimeters of a ball not crossing the net or someone losing the penalty. So that just tells us the gulf in class now between Chelsea, Liverpool, and Man City. But again, I was telling Ken Offer that it would be a grave injustice for Arteta having won multiple managers of the month and still not winning that league. I don't think the Arsenal guys, they have that mentality to come back like the Liverpool guys who came back after so many outbreaks to finally win the COVID league. So I think Arsenal the league is still theirs to lose. They are still topping. Wishing that Man City will, of course, lose their own outstanding match. But I think they have a very delayed at this point of the season. So I think for now, that is the best team in the league.
Arsenal, I mean, this guy right here, Jesus, he's back. And this is what Mikel Arteta had to say concerning this player. The fact that he's back, his first start and scoring 2 goals for the Gunners.
Delighted for him. They were all clapping him. He's been working so hard for the last 4 or 5 months with a lot of support, obviously, from the team and the staff. And today he deserves the chance to start. And I think he grabbed the opportunity with a lot of conviction and scoring 2 very important goals. And the way they live, the way they challenge themselves, the way they support each other is exceptional. So I'm not surprised about that. It's not easy to do it when you just throw Rob after a few months of inactivity to this level. It's been really, really good again today. And I'm really happy because we need everyone. We had injuries, unfortunately, in the last few months, long-term injuries, and the team somehow has to find a way to keep winning and keep performing. And it's great to see that.
Yeah, great to see everyone returning. With the players returning, the injured players returning, I believe the title is just there for the Gunners to win. All right. So
Definitely.
You're not going to say nothing contrary, right? Thank you, as a Gunners fan. So let's just wrap it up. That just leaves you time. Which quickly touch that. I know you want to talk about F1.
Definitely. I mean,
yeah, because of what happened with Verstappen.
Crazy race, one of the wildest ever in history. The 3 restarts, 3 red flags, 3 restarts. At the end of the day, it was just about world champions getting on podium. Verstappen, Hamilton, Alonso, fantastic race, and I think they got value for their money. The fans, I mean, great one.
Value for their money. Fernando Alonso, watch out for that guy.
Yes,
he's been on podium the first 3 races.
Exactly.
That's interesting.
Well, I'm new with Arsenal. It's been 19 years since they won the league the last time out. At 19, I was still in university. Okay. Children of 19 years old now, they're already in university. Okay. I just hope that Arsenal can actually go all the way this season.
All right. Ken, all right, rounding is up.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah, with your pen.
A great show. Let's say as the APL is going with the MPFL. Let's say if Bendel Insurance will go through the season unbeaten into Super 6, and at that point in time, anything can happen. Aqua United, Remo Stars, Rivers United, they are all contenders. So we just dropped the pen this week. And I said, don't forget your pen. I am dropping the pen, guys.
Okay,
Hello, Sisi. The most discussed issues in Italy today the wellness of the Pope and Osime, and the good thing that they both of them are seeking medical care in Italy, not outside Italy. I think that is a big message for us in Nigeria. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much for joining us right there from Rome, and thank you guys for joining me here in Lagos.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for watching. I'm Cecilia Mogbe. Have a fantastic day.